So why do governments give startups money? We're going to find out, and we're going to use that information to answer an IGCSE 6-mark evaluation question. The video you're about to see is actually part of a much broader IGCSE online revision course. It's going to be available in a few months, so make sure you subscribe to stay updated. Firstly, with training schemes. A great example of this is the Go For It program in Northern Ireland. It helped me. What they do is they help entrepreneurs to draw up a business plan and forecast their sales and costs for the first year. Governments can also offer grants, which essentially are payments which the business can then use for equipment or to help with startup costs. In addition to these, governments can also offer tax breaks, free office space, subsidies for hiring new employees, and so on and so on and so on. So, why do governments help? Well, there's a really important link here with Unit 6 and government objectives, because successful startups help governments achieve nearly all of their targets. For example, job creation. Successful startups employ workers and then they reduce that unemployment. Economic growth. Entrepreneurs contribute to developing economies. They create profits, they pay employees, and stimulate that economic growth. Innovation and technological change. Often entrepreneurs come up with new ideas and can inspire other startups. This makes the economy as a whole more competitive, innovative, and productive. So let's have a go at a 6-mark question. This one asks us, should the government help startup businesses like SheWorks? So the first thing is to read the mini case study and then underline any points which are going to be relevant in the answer. The structure for your answer starts with a knowledge point where you identify a relevant issue, and then you develop that point by explaining further. Now, I always advise to put in an application point. Sometimes application is explicitly required, other times not, but it's always best to refer to the case study when explaining your answer, and it really keeps you grounded in what's best for that business and will help you later on in your evaluation. So you get another mark for that point, and then you repeat that process again. And then finally, you've got your evaluation where you need to have 2 clear points. Another thing I usually advise is that you have a point for and then a point against, because what that logically leads to is you have evaluation then at the end whenever you make your final decision. Let's see an example of how this is done. So, SheWork may hire more employees, and higher employment means greater spending and greater economic activity in country X. So we've mentioned an application point there with the co-working space and how they're going to employ more workers, and then the benefits to the government in country X. Then we look at the other point of view, where it does mean higher government spending, and that money could be spent elsewhere. Again, we've got our application with the training course, which ECA took part in. And then you've got to come to a final decision. So first up, you want to make sure that you make that decision. So we say innovative startups are crucial for economic growth. A really good way of doing evaluation if you're stuck is to think about the short-term and the long-term impact. So in the short term, it may cost more for the government, but in the long term, businesses, startups like SheWorks will repay that investment through providing higher tax on profits and giving employment to the general public.